So, for 6,000 years of all these different modalities of acupuncture, I say different modalities because there are so many different ways of doing acupuncture. But it's been with us. And that 6,000 years is only the time that we have the history of acupuncture. It actually goes far beyond that. It's being practiced for probably 20,000 years or more. And let me ask you a question. How did this acupuncture treatment begin? Ever since 10,000, 20,000 years ago, have we been calling all this acupuncture because we were really using these needles? Of course not. They were helping the person that they love, and they were giving a massage, and they were seeing the results, and hey, phenomenally, they were working pretty well. All of a sudden, that little stomach ache was going away just by rubbing it. Just by giving a little pressure, the constipation was getting better. And guess what? When someone was complaining about the shoulder pain and neck pain, just by massaging it, and instead of massaging it with the fingertips, people started using the nails. And actually, you know what? They felt better, quicker. So people started looking for something sharp to stimulate those areas. And of course, 20,000 years ago, we didn't have the steel. We didn't have all these phenomenally great tools that we can use right now. And they started looking for certain things. Certain things sharp enough to stimulate those areas. And with those things, we tried to stimulate those areas, and we also found out about especially effective points in our body. So they started using, believe it or not, they started using thorns, fishbone. Some people actually sharpened their nails. They were using anything and everything. That's how it all began. And we have these modernized tools that we can actually use. These are tiny ones, which is manufactured for your hands. These are different type of needles that we use, kind of hefty and thick and long, and normal size of needles that we use. And we also have other tools that we can do. And a lot of people say, well, what are those? Well, believe it or not, these are all coming from the same goal, treating people. If I were to come to you with a few needles like this, and I say, well, I'm going to have to do some acupuncture on you, Rhonda. And guess what? Even before I stand up, she's going to be like, really? The first thing that you're going to feel is what? Fear. And that is why majority of the people are turning away from acupuncture, because fear is there. It's a fear factor. And the next one is what? Money. And you have to pay in order to be treated. And guess what? It's something that you do not have enough of all the time. So you always worry. And the next? Time. And that really bothers you a lot, because in order to get treated for 1 hour, you sometimes have to drive an hour or two, back and forth. So these are the reasons why people are having a hard time of trying all these different modalities. But mainly, fear and discomfort. People don't feel comfortable of closing their eyes in front of you when you're saying, oh, I'm going to treat you with Reiki. And some people are going like, okay, I trust you. Okay, well, what are you doing? People cannot concentrate because they're not really open-minded about some of these holistic healings. And yes, they do seem pretty abnormal. I understand that. And a lot of people like that I talk to, a lot of people say, what do you do? And then I say, oh, I'm an acupuncturist. And they go, really? And what do you do? Does it really work? That's what they said. Does it really work? Well, of course it does. That's why I'm here. But here is something that I am telling you and some other people on the web, is that sometimes a time like this comes along, and when you are investing your time you can actually learn all these different modalities that you can perform onto yourself. Better yet, if you learn something like this, you can turn around and help the people that you love the most. Better yet, you can actually turn around and help them so they will not have that pain 2 weeks later, a month later, a year later. The most important tool that you have, and also that everybody has, and also the most important tool that works the most and the best is TLC. Tender, loving care.